Welcome to Ancient Wisdom for Modern Work. In the hustle of profit, product, and productivity, it's easy to neglect the how, our ethics, our conduct, and our internal state of being. But what if the secret to sustainable success wasn't found in the latest management trend, but in wisdom that's existed for thousands of years? The host of this podcast, Kimberly Killer, is here to explore the ancient concepts of yamas and niyamas as a powerful framework for modern leadership. So, without further ado, let's get started.
Hello, and welcome to Ancient Wisdom for Modern Work, a podcast designed to help you apply proven lessons from the yogi masters of yesteryear to the work we do today. I'm your host and guide, Kimberly Kaler, and it's my great pleasure to share my insight on how to meld mindfulness into our work world, however you define work, as a teacher, a corporate executive, or a community volunteer. Today's topic is Satya, the power of truth in leadership. Truth is a simple concept that becomes surprisingly complex inside the walls of an organization. We speak of data-driven decisions and transparent processes, yet the path of truthfulness is often fraught with difficult conversations, uncomfortable realities, and personal vulnerability. We learn to soften feedback, spin narratives, and sometimes omit the details to keep the peace or protect ourselves. But at what cost? The second of the 5 yamas, Satya, or truthfulness, calls us back to a more grounded and potent way of leading. It's not merely about avoiding lies. It's an active commitment to reality in our thoughts, words, and actions. For a leader, practicing Satya is the foundation upon which trust, psychological safety, and genuine connection are built. It's the practice of aligning our communication with what is real, even when it is hard. Understanding the high cost of convenient untruths. In a leadership role, the pressure to present a positive picture is immense. We want to shield our teams from bad news, maintain morale, and project an image of unwavering control. This can lead to what are often called white lies, strategic omissions, or a sugar-coated feedback. While the intention may feel protective, the long-term result is almost always an erosion of trust. When a team discovers that reality is different from what they've been told, that the budget is tighter, the project is actually more troubled, or their performance is less satisfactory than they believed, a seed of doubt is planted. This doubt, once sown, grows into a culture of cynicism. Employees begin to question every announcement and second-guess every piece of praise. This lack of truthfulness creates a significant emotional and operational drag on the organization. To begin, energy is wasted on decoding messages. Instead of focusing on their work, team members spend time trying to figure out, what does the boss really mean? It also creates problems that fester in the dark. When leaders are not honest about challenges, employees are not empowered to help solve them. Small issues that could have been addressed early grow into major crises. Third, accountability dissolves. A culture that avoids hard truths is also one that struggles with accountability. If we cannot be honest about mistakes, we can't learn from them. So, the courage to be truthful. Practicing Satya as a leader requires courage. It's not about being brutally honest or using truth as a weapon. Satya is tempered by ahimsa, nonviolence. Our truth must be delivered with care and a genuine intent to help, not harm. This balance is where the real work of leadership lies. Several common scenarios test a leader's commitment to Satya. Number 1, delivering difficult feedback. Giving constructive criticism is one of the most challenging leadership tasks. The temptation to soften the message to avoid hurting someone's feelings is strong. However, vague or indirect feedback or no feedback at all is truly a disservice. It denies the individual a clear understanding of what needs to improve, robbing them a chance to grow. Practicing Satya in feedback means being specific and direct while also showing support. It's the difference between saying, you could be a bit more productive, and I noticed in our last 3 meetings that you waited to be assigned tasks rather than suggesting next steps. I'd like to see you take more initiative in project planning, and I'm here to support you. Number 2, admitting mistakes and vulnerability. A leader who projects infallibility creates a culture where no one else can afford to make a mistake. When you, as a leader, openly admit when you are wrong, have made a poor decision, or simply do not have the answer, you model humility and psychological safety. Saying, I was wrong or I need help is not a sign of weakness. It's a demonstration of strength and integrity. It gives your team permission to be human, to take risks, and to ask for help when they need it. This vulnerability builds trust faster than any success ever could. Number 3, fostering transparency. Transparency is Satya scaled to an organizational level. It involves being open about the company's performance, strategic direction, and the why behind major decisions. While not every piece of information can be shared, a default to transparency over secrecy builds a sense of shared ownership. When layoffs are happening, for example, a leader avoiding Satya might offer vague assurances that everything is fine. A leader practicing Satya will communicate the reality of the situation with as much clarity and compassion as possible, explaining the business reasons and treating those affected with dignity. The former creates anxiety and rumors. The latter, while painful, preserves integrity. So, what are some actionable strategies for leading with Satya? Integrating truthfulness into your leadership is a conscious practice. It requires you to notice the small moments where you might be tempted to stray from the path of honesty and to choose a different way. So, number 1, create a truth-telling environment. Actively encourage your team to speak their truth, especially when it contradicts your own view. When someone raises a dissenting opinion, thank them for their honesty. Make it clear that challenging ideas is not an act of disloyalty, but a valuable contribution. You can set this tone by asking questions like, what am I missing here? Or what is the argument against this plan? Number 2, confront inaction directly. When a project stalls or a commitment is not met, the easy path is to let it slide. Satya requires you to address it. This is not about blame. It's about accountability. Have a direct conversation, seek to understand the obstacle, and work together on a solution. Ignoring inaction is a form of untruthfulness because it implies that the commitment was not important. Number 3, practice clean communication. Before communicating, check your intention. Is your goal to inform and clarify or to manipulate and control? Satya asks for clean motives. Strip away the corporate jargon and spin. Speak and write in simple, direct language. Your team will appreciate the clarity and respect your honesty. And then finally, number 4, align your words and actions. The most powerful expression of Satya is integrity, the alignment of what you say with what you do. If you talk about the importance of work-life balance, but send emails at 10 p.m., your actions betray your words. If you praise collaboration, but reward individual heroes, your team will see the disconnect. Truthfulness must be lived, not just spoken. While the path of Satya demands courage, it ultimately leads to a place of freedom. Leading from a place of truthfulness is liberating. You no longer have to waste energy remembering which version of a story you told to whom. You build relationships founded on real trust, not on a fragile facade of perfection. Your commitment to truth creates a resilient team that can face challenges head on because they are armed with reality. They trust you, they trust each other, and they trust that it is safe to bring their full, authentic selves to work. This week, consider the small ways you can be more truthful. Can you give one piece of feedback with more clarity and compassion? Can you admit one thing you don't know? Start there. The practice of Satya begins with a single, honest moment.
Thank you so much for listening to Ancient Wisdom for Modern Work, a podcast designed to meld mindfulness into the work we do. We invite you to subscribe as well as visit wisdomfortheworkwedo.com for additional resources. Until next time, we invite you to consider how you can apply the wisdom yogi masters of yesteryear to the work we do today, with integrity, clarity, and compassion.